I'm one of the beneficiaries of the trainings on the rangeland decision support tool. We realized NRT started in back 2005, and rangelands was one of our key activities. And we have experienced a big challenge of increase in population, shift in settlement patterns, and also unpredictable climatic conditions, which has really affected the condition of rangelands. So we thought it was necessary to come up with some strategy on how to help the community improve the rangelands, because that is like very key in their livelihood. We thought rangelands is really important, and we took it as our core activity, and we helped them establish grazing committees. We helped them also employ grazing coordinators who will help in guiding them and also monitoring the rangelands. So the grazing coordinator, together with the grazing committee, through the support of Northern Rangeland Trust, developed grazing blocks, where we are able to have grazing blocks for wet season and grazing blocks for dry season. And then is some sort of a plan on when to graze during the wet season and during the dry season. To monitor that, there was that discussion between Northern Rangeland Trust and RCMDR to come up with a tool that will help us scientifically monitor the vegetation condition. If these measures that NRT has put in place in terms of rangeland management are working or not, it will help us maybe make a decision as we move forward. Because with some sort of science and the monitoring tool, we're able to see maybe since last year we have done this and this in terms of rangeland management, and this tool will help us see if there's that improvement or we need to adjust and maybe look for other techniques of managing the rangelands. I think it's, we have been having some sort of continuous training, but in the recent few, two years ago, that's when the tool has really maybe attracted some sort of attention, because community, you need to take them slowly as they understand, because science sometimes is very difficult, but understand the tool is very simple because of the issues to do with, it's easy to visualize, because the use of NDVI, which is based on color, you can easily see the greenness and also the brownness. You can tell them this greener part, the vegetation condition here is good at this period of time. So maybe when you're doing planning for grazing next month, this is where we will graze. And this area where we are seeing maybe the brownness, probably there's some sort of degradation. We need to do some rehabilitation. Another thing that this tool is really helping us is NRT has established sanctuaries, rhino sanctuaries. We have established the Irola sanctuaries, and there's some sort of rangeland improvement there because it is a fenced area, protected. So we are able to monitor if the vegetation is improving, and that is really very key, because the wildlife which are inside the sanctuaries rely on that vegetation. So we are really keen to use the tool to monitor the habitat. So another importance of the tool as well is we are doing restoration, the degraded area rehabilitation. So we are able to use the tool to monitor if there's some improvement, because we clear the acacia reficients. I didn't mention almost over 50% of our landscape is covered by an invasive species, either acacia reficiens or opuntia. So we are doing some clearing, we reseed, and after some period of time, when the grass grow, we allow people to graze there. So this tool will help us to monitor if there's some sort of improvement in the land cover when you do the reseeding. We have done almost 5,000 hectares rehabilitation for the last 9 to 10 years. I think the tool is comparing the benefit and the challenges. I'll say the benefit supersedes the challenges, but there's room for improvement in terms of we need, if the tool can be able to give us data on rainfall, because rainfall is a key issue. And for now, we are only relying on the NDVI to tell the vegetation condition. So if you're able to really get real data on the rainfall, we're able to link and also to convince and explain to the community this was when the rain, those rains, and this was the amount of rainfall, and we're able also to show them the shift, because the people nowadays, the rainfall pattern nowadays is not very standard. It keeps, when you're expecting rains, there's no rains, and then when you don't expect, there's rains. So it's good to have that kind of data. Maybe you can compare for the last 10 years how the rainfall was, and it will help us also improve. Linked with the NDVI, we can use it to make more better decisions on rangelands. We are able to really train more people, especially, you know, the core person in, as far as rangeland is concerned, is the local person, the community. And for them to, if they own it, I think the tool will really be very useful. So we'll keep training them on really how the tool works, and we'll keep developing maps for them. And also we are going to use it in doing grazing. We normally have grazing planning of every season, and we intend to use these maps from the tool to guide us in setting up annual or no, seasonal grazing plans. So I think that's the strength we are going to try and utilize. Yeah, we are working with, in partnership with the county governments. NRT is aligned to the 10 counties that we work with. The 10 counties are Baringo, Samburu, West Pokot, Isiolo, Marsabit, Lamu, Tana River, Laikipia, Meru. Yeah, so those are the 10 counties. We have been involved in 4 counties in developing of the county integrated development plans. That is Laikipia, Samburu, Marsabit, and Baringo. But maybe moving forward, we are going to really try and partner together with the rest. But NRT and other partners were very instrumental when the 4 counties were developing their CIDPs. At that time, I don't think I'm not very, at that time it was under development when we were working with them. Maybe
invasive species marker?
They use, because we did some small basic data collection. But you remember, this invasive species mapper is a tool that we are still using it. So the data, the amount of data that has been collected was not so substantial at that time, but maybe in future it will be very, very useful if we keep collecting the data and the landscape covered. It should be big. That's the only time maybe we'll use it to make decisions. RCMDR and Savir have been really very instrumental, and we will wish if the partnership continues, because technology takes time, and we have been trying to come up with different ideas. There's a lot of gap down there in terms of technology and science. So if the partnership continues, we're going to come up with many ideas on how to really improve on the rangelands in the northern Kenya. Remember, over 70% of NRT landscape is degraded. So if many other issues to do with water and issues to do with how to monitor the clearing, some sort of partnership in that. If the ideas come up and you get support through you, it will be very, very instrumental. So we would really request if this partnership continues.